to grow in the spiritual life? That's a great question. It's really important, and I'm going to give you at least my best shot at a good answer for that today. And really, the most succinct way that I can think of how do we grow in the spiritual life, it's motion, right? So we think of water. Water's a great metaphor, right? If water is still, if it's stagnant, stagnation, maybe things are growing in that water, bacteria, other microorganisms that are not necessarily conducive for us living a vivified existence, right? If we drink that water, it's not going to be helpful. Over time, the older and more, sort of green and alive in a bad sense that water becomes, right? It becomes, the more stagnant and still it is for a long time, the more full of things that are harmful for us, right? So I'll push that metaphor a little bit and we think about the spiritual life. If we're stationary, if we're not moving and we're just stagnant, we're just sitting there passively, just like having things like, just hit us. We're not, and that doesn't mean, that's not even dealing with the idea of being receptive, right? So we do need to be docile and receive so much from Christ. But at the same time, there's a flip side to that we also need to be moving. But that motion cannot just be frenetic. It cannot just be, frantic. It has to be intentional. So intentional motion in the spiritual life, it means having a plan. It means moving forward in a set direction, not just spinning your wheel. So you're actually progressing towards your goals. And how do we know what those goals are? You got to have a plan. And what we call that plan in the Christian life, historically, traditionally, whatever you want to call it, is the rule of life, right? So having a rule of life or a rule of a plan of life, something like that, I've seen it written in different ways. But really simply put, I've talked about this in other videos, but a rule of life is just really having a plan and giving yourself realistic, achievable, but challenging goals to push yourself towards becoming a saint. And if that's overwhelming to you, you don't know where to start on that, I did create a free ebook that you can get by signing up and clicking the link in the description below. Sign up for our mailing list, you get a free copy of that, and it's called Building a Family Rule of Life. And the reason I focused in on the family, not just because the sort of general focus of this channel is on the necessity of the family as like the center of the spiritual life. So many saints over time that have done this in a more of an organized manner have used the family as the model for this. I think especially of St. Benedict. I have a video where I talk about, kind of in general terms, applying the rule of St. Benedict to the life of the family. And the fruit of that was this family rule of life. So check that out in the description below, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you. As I was meditating on this idea of building a family rule of life and what directions that might go, one project that came to the surface that has really been in the works kind of behind the scenes here for a few months was putting together a planner to help sort of have a tactile, physical way to do that. And so I've just recently got this in the mail. This is the 6 months planner and spiritual journal that I've called the Ora et Labora journal. And Ora et Labora obviously comes from the Benedictine ethos of prayer and work as the means by which we are sanctified. And if you read the Rule of St. Benedict, that idea of the Ora et Labora shaping and being the rhythm for all the things that we do, and if you spend any time with me, that's super inspiring to me, of being shaped by prayer and work. Balanced, rigorous, but balanced, approach of both of those things. And so this journal, I'm going to have a link in the description below. You can buy this. It's available if you want to support our channel. If that's something that would be, if you'd like to do, you can do it this way. But I also think this is an incredibly useful tool for those of us who are really trying to build a more robust and intentional spiritual life. So basically a way to apply your rule of faith. But really, as it is, it's a 6 months. So the first, I'm just going to kind of walk through this kind of quickly with you. So in the first few pages, you've got 6 months, right? So there's 6 of these facing pages. Each one of these facing pages is designed there. It's undated, so you can use it for any month and start where you want to. So in this case, say we're starting in November. At the top of this page, you're going to write November and then date the months. So feast and fast, that section on the bottom, is where you're going to list out, of course, liturgical things that are important for your family, but also those feasts that are important because they're things like wedding anniversaries, baptism anniversaries, confirmation anniversaries in the life of your children. So all of these things are very important for us because these dates matter. We are bound in time, and time and the rhythms and the cycles of that is really important. So having that space to kind of think through those events in the life of your family are important. And also making a note of this month, we've got some things, maybe if there's a liturgical fast or you're taking on a penance for some reason, you want to fast on Wednesdays through the month of, August or something. You can put that on there. The facing page has 2 columns, interior and exterior work to be done. And really that's both for just having sort of a running list for this month. What are the things that I'm really hoping to get done inside, my interior life. I want to pray more. I want to be more disciplined in praying, say morning prayer every day, or evening prayer every day, or I'm going to actually finally start praying the rosary every day, or I'm going to start praying the Jesus prayer, every morning when I wake up, whatever it is, right? And so that's where you'll place that. So the first 6 of those sets of facing pages are there, and then you get into the next section, which is where the meat and potatoes of the book is as well. So there's 31 of these pages for every month because I have no way of knowing what month you're starting in. I want to make sure you had enough days. There's a month at the top. You circle that. You circle the day of the month that the day represents, and then you've got those 3 sections on each day: Ora, Labora, and Reflexio. And the whole goal with this is to have a really quick, succinct place to sort of document and be intentional about the things that are happening in your spiritual life. The Ora page is obviously for prayer, things or people for which that are on your heart you want to pray for. So you take this with you into the chapel if you're praying at a holy hour that day, and you've got this list of things that you want to bring before the throne of God. So you got that. Take it to Mass with you. You're jotting down those things that are important to you. Labora, tasks you have to get done. That could be both interior, exterior tasks, of course. But projects you got to get done for work. You got to do something in the garden. You got to go milk a cow. All of these things you want to get done just to get that out of your head, so it's not just spiraling around and driving you crazy. You have it on paper. You can see it. And the last part of that page, the Reflexio section. Really, Reflexio is just there. You could use this at the end of the day, maybe for an examination of conscience. You want to see, how did I do today? How did it go? Did I meet my expectations? Where did I fail? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to do slightly different to meet those goals that I have through my prayer life with the Lord that I want to grow spiritually? And so that's really, simply put, that is the book. And there's 6 months worth of those, and it's designed to be, it's small, it's portable. You can, put it in your bag, put it in your pocket. It's gonna, if you've got a big pocket, you take it with you to Mass on a trip. Take it hiking with you. Go to the beach. It's not waterproof. It's an actual book, so but that's fine. But take it with you. And my hope and prayer is that this will be a tool for you and your family as you're growing closer to the Lord.